happening on campus, just like they do with the arts peer mentors, or peer mentor training in general actually. So basically it'd end up being one day on campus.
I don't think that the current form of class rep training should have ever happened in the first place. I don't think that there should be an incident where a tiny minority of people get to spend so much money on a free holiday away in the country for a whole weekend. So what I would do is bring it onto campus as well.
Very simply, a lot of the big problem is that class reps lose attention or lose effort in semester 2. So what I would propose is to have a day's training and a night out in Dublin in September or October, and then do the same again in January or February, kind of like a rep fresher day.
I'm also in favour of bringing class rep training back to campus, simply because I feel the biggest negativity towards the student union is the amount of money they spend on class rep training, and that's what I want to change. I want to break that bond that they create, that alleged clique that they create at class rep training. They're there to represent their students, so I'd be in favour of having a 2-day event hosted in UCD and followed by bringing it to, and then a social event in the new forum bar when it's designed. So I believe that education is a right and it's not a privilege. However, from being involved in the exec and being involved in the students' union, I feel we have to be realistic. And I'm personally myself, I do not think free education can be achieved. However, if students lobby for that, if I'm lucky enough to collect, I will. And if I'm lucky enough to get elected, and if there is a referendum formed on education, on the stance of education, and free fees is an option, and students support that, then in conclusion, I will support that and endeavour to fight for that.
Yeah, college isn't cheap. I don't think free fees are feasible. I mean, the student contribution fee has been going up and up and up in the last number of years. So I would fight for one of my duties as campaigns officer is to maintain the union policy document. If the students of UCD vote in favour of free fees, of graduate tax or any other alternative, it is my democratic duty to do that, and that's my stance.
I'm a firm believer in free education. I believe it's a right and not a privilege. And I think candidates here are running to represent students. They're not running to get elected to the Dáil. They're not worried. We should be concerned about student policy. We should be concerned about how that fits students and how it represents students rather than how it fits into government policy. And I think we need to carry on straight ahead with the free fees. I think to say anything else, to say it's not realistic, is just pessimistic in my opinion.
I am obviously pro free fees, but at the same time I think we do need to be realistic. I don't think I'm being pessimistic. I just think it's within the current economic climate, it's the way it has to be. People do actually have to pay to get into college, and it's terrible, but it's the way it is. I would love to have a referendum to see other people's opinions on what we should actually do, what way we should go forward, because I don't think the marches are working anymore year after year. So it's something we definitely need to look into more.
The students' union comes to you. That's one of the biggest reasons I'm running, and one of the biggest problems I see with the union is communication. I feel for too long the union has sat back, sent emails and encouraged you to pop into the office or drop me a text or drop me an email. That just simply doesn't work. You can ask the current campaigns and communications officer that. It hasn't worked. So I propose to come to the students, have a stand on campus once a week, offering cups of tea, a chat, advice.
Okay. My priority would be the anti-fees campaign. I think in the current climate, students are finding it very hard to get by. Students' parents are unemployed on a huge scale, and students are feeling the pinch in their pocket. And I think that we need to push ahead with this anti-fees campaign. I do think it's a possibility that we can make a big dent on it.
Okay. My main priority is for the students union to take an active role, getting students involved in college life, in university, whether that be in society, whether that be in a sport, whether that be even the students' union. I endeavour to try to introduce accreditation by participation. If I see that I really want this to happen, I'm going to campaign tirelessly for this to ensure that this can be here.
Students involved outside the students' union as possible through the campaigns crew. This year in Shopton na Gaeilge I set up a crew na Gaeilge for everybody outside on Come On Gaelach and outside the students' union to get involved in. The reaction was unbelievable. There was over 60 students contacting me saying they've never been involved in college before and that this was their perfect chance. So wouldn't it be great if we were able to do that on a larger scale?
My biggest achievement probably was when I did a post-leaving course and I was elected as student president of the college, and also I passed the course of flying very well. I got 7 out of 8 distinctions, and that was a year after failing my leaving cert. So.
My biggest achievement is winning my arts programme officer election when I was in first year, and then achieving my main goal, which was to get hidden course costs published in the module descriptor for next year, so people in the likes of Irish or geography will know, say that their Gaeltacht trip costs them €100 and that their geography field trip costs them X amount as well.
My biggest achievement so far this year was the Save Our Track campaign and getting involved in that, and how I was able to, it gave me the bug and the taste for getting involved in student campaigns, and the reason why I loved it so much and the reason why I threw so much into it, because it was a student facility, it affected so many students, and the passion and awareness we raised was so successful, and that's what I'm really proud of.
Without a doubt, my biggest achievement has to be this campaign. The fact is, in this last number of weeks, I have met so many students, just regular students, first years, second years, third years, every faculty, and they've told me what they think of the Students' Union, and it's just given me a totally different perspective on student and university life, and I really am just so happy I've done it.